would you be living? And what would you be doing?
Probably I'll be back home. I like to bake.
So we are all here. Don't worry. Almost everybody felt the same here. Start living the life that we don't like, living in a weather that we hate, and everything again. If everything was equal, we'll be home. But we did explore why things happen, because God has got a plan. That the part of that bigger picture is that everything works together for our good. The homework that everybody was given is the story of Joseph. I would want you guys to make time and go and read that story with a different intent and a different understanding. There are a few examples we can learn from. Examples from the Bible, and I suppose right now, examples from people like myself. And it's up to you to create and build a story of how you want your story to end up, and that decision is in your hands. And those outcomes, whether they come to pass, how, when, everything, you are in control of your destiny. You can make things happen or you can break them. You are totally in control. The environment, we may want to blame it, it's not in control. Circumstances, we may want to blame them, they are not in control. What happens to all of us. There's nobody who has got a perfect life, but what makes the difference is how we look at those situations and how we learn from them, how we grow from them. And so the whole outlook, if you've got a positive mind and a strong belief system, this is what we emphasize, then really, surely, you cannot miss your destiny, you cannot miss your purpose. It's not God's plan that we should be begging. Never. Why? Because He has provided everything that we need to us, but only that we have closed our minds and we've believed, right? We talked about the power of belief, that maybe we don't deserve for one reason or the other, or I'm not good enough, I'm just an immigrant, so some things are good for others and not for me, and so we've not opened ourselves up to it. But what I'm here to say is that actually no, we are the worst enemies of our success. We need to open our minds and we need to move on. We are co-creators with God. When God created us, we have His DNA. We are His children. Has your kids ever came to you, I have got a question, and doubted that you were their parents? No. Do they doubt that? No.
Never.
So if they don't doubt, do you believe that God is your Father? Mm-hmm. And so if you believe that God is your Father and all the abundance and everything that the world holds, and that you have His DNA, and that you have the same rights as them, and you have His inheritance, why should you be begging? Right? So again, it comes to the mindset. So for you to move from that, you need to solidify your belief system and 100% believe that you are a representative of God right here on earth. So you call things into life, you make things happen. You really have got to believe that. But at the same time, being a God's child comes with responsibilities. You know, just like we talk about Prince Charles and his boys, right? We expect the prince to behave in a certain way. We expect his children to behave in a certain way. And I bet you they are also bound by a certain code that they live by. And so for you, the understanding that you're a child of God, you need to have a certain code that you live by. And that code is the one you will write down in stone. You need to write that code in stone and follow it through. A child of God is an action taker. God is a man of action, right? God did not create paper money and gave us those notes or those things to just give to us. He could have done that, you know. But you know what He created? He created the trees. And then He gave us responsibility that from the plants and from the stones and from the earth and from everything else comes the diamonds from the earth. Comes the money, the paper from the trees. From the trees comes life. from the tree we make tables. Do you get my point?
Yeah.
And who makes it? You and me. Through what? Through using your mind, the power of the mind. You realize that, oh, by the way, human beings, we need chairs. What do we have with the wood? Wood from where? From the trees. God didn't wake up and make a chair. He could have done it if he wanted, right? But he made you and me so that we can now take care of what he's given us using the resources that he has availed to us. So what do we have? We have the trees, we have the earth, we have the air that we breathe, we have the universe we live in, we have one another. So we have everything we need. But the mindset that we have been brought into is crazy, because we believe that if I want clothes, God must just drop the clothes at my door. Right? That I must just wake up with my bank account with extra 3 or 4 zeros. But that God doesn't operate that way. He is saying, I've given you the trees. You can make the tables and make wood. And you make a choice. There is 7.4 billion people on planet Earth. You just make a choice how many you want to sell of them pieces here. That's the difference. So, wealth creation is the grander picture. God expects us to be creating wealth using the resources that he has given to us. And those resources are available to us every day. But for us to be able to get there, we need to understand that our problems is where our businesses are born from. So we are solution driven, right? And then we went to the point that it's important for you to understand then who you are in the grander picture. Who are you in this part of in this place called the universe? Why are you here? You have got a purpose. God has got a plan about you and about his life. You are not random. You are not a mistake. And it doesn't matter, we have all said we didn't want to be here. But unfortunately, this is part of God's plan. Yeah? Be at peace with that. Understand that. This is part of his plan. You are the chosen one. That's just how it is. So what should you be doing? You should be working towards aligning yourself with his plan right here, right now. And we learned that out of our discomfort is how our purposes are born. The question, how do you then get started? I gave an example of the story of Joseph. And I say to you that Joseph, on his journey, sold by his brothers. Can you imagine when he was so little? Then he finds himself in the house of Pharaoh working as a worker. He probably was one of those workers, I don't know whether he was a gardener, I don't know whether he was working I don't know where he started, I don't know. All I know is he probably would have started just like you and me here. We found ourselves in the lands of the Queen, in foreign lands, where we are different, we are minority. But you know, the one thing that Joseph did best, he worked so hard that he was the best at what he was doing. He worked his way up the ladder till he became the what? The PM of Egypt, right? So that's where my #millionaire mindset comes in, because the power of the mind, I may be cleaning the streets, but I clean them so well. I may be a doctor by profession, but my profession doesn't matter. Yeah? What matters is what I'm doing right now, I do it so well that they'll promote me from being the cleaner there, and probably, I don't know, become the manager of all the cleaners. I will work my way up till I become a PM. So you and me right now, right here, God wants you to work your way in this land, right here, right now, till you become the PM. And in your role, I don't know what the PM means for you, but you need to work your way up. That's gonna be important. Why? Because for you to build the wealth at the level God is expecting you, for you to align and be on point with your purpose is bigger than what you are thinking. Your purpose is beyond you having a good house, driving a good car, your kids having good education. Your purpose is way bigger than that. Your purpose is probably part of a grander picture, a rescue mission for your people, for your generation. I don't know how that looks like. But for Joseph, his purpose led him to rescuing his people from the famine. Without Joseph, the whole of the Israelite generation would have been wiped out. Can you imagine that? But there is one amazing quality that Joseph had. Joseph had a forgiving heart. Can you imagine? He was, all right, sending for those same brothers. And he just said, you know what, guys, come, my family first. So God is looking for you to align with your purpose, but most importantly, you have got to have the right heart and the right intent. This is not about you. Yeah? So when it comes to building wealth and growing wealth and doing all these things, it's not about that you hoard it, that you have a lot of money, that you show off, that everybody sees and everybody knows. It's about fulfilling the plan and the purpose of God. And as you do that, money is never going to be a problem for you because money is going to follow you. Yeah, that's what we agreed, right? Because Joseph, with all that abundance, he was a PM, he had the keys to everything. He could have chosen to say, guess what? I will get on with my life here. I'm happy. He could have closed the doors and he could have ignored everybody. He could have done that, right? But he had the right heart. So yeah, we did say that. So we said, as Dream Blazers, we then train and teach people about how to become entrepreneurs by practicing faith-based entrepreneurship. There is nothing wrong about having money, guys. We need to have money so we can influence decisions. We need to be in influential decision-making jobs. We need to be decision makers in our own right so we can influence policy and we can influence change. We cannot influence change when we are just sat in our homes or working in small jobs, guys. So God is going to actually a grander picture for all of us. So I've given you the homework. How can you go from this workshop today and be that person? Where can you start? How can you start working towards becoming that PM in your own world? And how does that work? How is it going to look like? You need to think about that. And we agreed that it starts by knowing that you are. There is no doubt. You need to stop doubting. You are that businesswoman. You are that businessman. You are that millionaire. You are that whatever you want to be. You are that prime minister. You are that mayor. You are that councillor. You are. You are. So when you walk around from today, you will be saying, I am. I don't care what everybody else think, but I am. You start to believe it, you start to work towards it. And you start growing. If you're in a job, you start growing on your ladder. If you're running a business, you stop making it a small business, you start thinking from a bigger picture point of view. How do I structure this business that it's a big enterprise, that it impacts more people? This is the recipe for success and abundance. I did touch on prayer and I did touch on taking action because God is about action. Faith without action does not bring results. If you like to fast, yes, by all means do that if that's going to help you. But over and above that, for me, what are you going to wake up and do? What a man does with his hands. God blesses what you do with your hands. That's what brings us results. When that happens, you become motivated, more results, and you become a child of God who is grateful for what's happening, and you grow. However, the opposite of that is true also, because if you don't take action, zero results, and you become demotivated. And so for me, when I look at most people right now, they are in this zone all the time, because they come to church or they go to a workshop like this one, they get high. It's like a drug, right? Like a little cocaine shot, boom.
Yes.
Here, you've been given a shot, right? But the difference is this shot requires you to go home and start doing. If you don't do that, you come back, zero results, and so you want Fungai to do another workshop so that you can have another shot of cocaine. It doesn't work that way. So you are going to be in this here, and you get frustrated, but not so much of a problem, your frustration, but according to God, you are not doing him a favor. And so you put God's name to shame because you are not being a good child and you are not being a good representative. Yeah? So then we don't need to be here. So this is what we need to change. Hence the work we do as Dream Blazers Academy. We work with you guys to try and help you see what's possible, see what's available, and by emphasizing that there's no difference. We all came here as migrant community. We don't have to be stuck in one place. There is opportunities available and we need to grab them, but the only way to do it, the only difference is that we take action daily. Really, seriously, guys. When it's a Friday, everybody's saying we are going for a party, we are going into the office and we start planning and then doing. That's the difference. So your 24 hours, it's so important that you, besides going to work, besides the rat race, what have I actually achieved today towards my dreams? And that is what matters. The rat race doesn't count, unfortunately. Yeah? So you go, if you're going to work, now you're going with intention. If I'm in a full-time job, I would want to add into my bag more good things that my manager is going to say about me. I ask my manager for more work. What can I do more? How can I help? Because as I'm doing that, I'm growing. I know that that's going in my bag towards me becoming a PM. So we emphasized on that. And then we got to a place where we said, okay, after you've done all this, we've got notebooks. So people who were here earlier on, you had written in your notebooks what you believe. What do you believe about you? Who do you think you are? What do you believe about you, about your finances, about your children, about your social status, about your relationships? What really do you believe? Or you just think, I'm just here, I'm just getting by, I don't know. Are you in that place? Because that's not a safe place to be in. You have got to make a decision and live an intentional life.